One. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we're gathered here on our rainy, cool April morn to pay tribute to our wonderful horse Smokey, who recently passed, very unexpectedly, I might say. We were not anticipating that his problem with his sinuses was so severe that it would precipitate his having to be euthanized to prevent him from actually going into seizures. It was taking over his entire cavity. And when we took him to the vet for an x-ray, it was clear that he was going to be dead within a couple of days, and it would not have been a pleasant process. So at the very last minute, Paula was there. We had to make that decision. It was a difficult decision, and it was very difficult to say goodbye to him on such short notice. We had hoped he would have a long and happy retirement here at Dunrovin. He certainly deserved it. And I want to just say something about my good friend Paula. Paula's way more than an equestrian friend. She's been out here for, gosh, an awfully long time. You came out when?
May of 2009, so 9 years.
8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And she's been, in and out, but she really bonded with Smokey and has been sort of his gal. And he knew it and loved her as much as she knew it and loved him. And you could tell that from a number of different ways. Paula would show up and he would whinny. He would snicker. And I think the most telling aspect for me was when you painted him the first time. That was in 2016. Yes. And he was always Mr. Curiosity. And so he was curious about what was going on, curious about the paints, and curious about this, and curious about that. Never really a worried guy, but a curious guy. But you could just see, and there were a couple of photos, which I will, by the way, put on our upcoming magazine, that just absolutely show the trust that Smokey had in Paula. I don't know what's going on. This is all pretty interesting, but I know I'm in good hands. That was just the way he felt around Paula. And I know you felt that way
mutual.
with him.
Yeah, I trusted him for sure. I never felt like I had to worry or think about it too much. I could be anywhere on him, under him, around him that I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a great guy on a lot of ways. And I'll kind of start the storytelling because I knew Smokey before I bought him. In fact, I bought him because I knew him. He used to belong to a guy by the name of Ed Reef. And Ed and I would ride together. We both had really big horses. My previous horse, Power, was as big, if not slightly bigger, than Smokey. And at the time, Power was older than Smokey, and Ed was kind of a new rider. And so he would ride with me, and Power and I were kind of bonded at the hip, and I never had to ask Power to just move out when the circumstances were right. Power would see that this is a place we should be moving on out, and so he would just move on out. Well, pretty soon, Smoke picked up the habit. And I remember Ed just beaming from side to side because we rode enough together that he said, well, Power has taught Smoke the best habits possible because he just moves right out. And he had this incredible fast gait. Did he not?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Smooth.
Smooth.
Just smooth. And he liked it.
Yes.
He liked to move.
He liked being out on the trail. He liked going across the river.
He did. Yeah, in fact, he was smoother at gait than at any other time. He had a beautiful canter, too, a rocking horse canter. Just this nice, even-paced, just pick his feet right up and go. A really, really kind and wonderful horse. And when we brought him to Dunrovin, Ed decided that he ran for the state legislature and got elected and got busy. So he decided to sell his horse, and I bought him immediately, of course. And when I first brought him here, Smokey was kind of a dominant horse. If you put him in with one or two other horses, he would be dominant right away. And that's what we did with him at first, was so he could get to know all of the other horses. But then a strange thing happened. When he was in the entire group, he fell to the very bottom, which was really interesting. I hadn't seen that kind of behavior in a horse before. He was, he was just used to small groups. And he felt really confident in a small group, but you put him with 10 or 12 horses, and that was just too much for him.
I'm the same way.
Good one-on-one. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I didn't know that about him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it amazed me because he was so dominant as a one-on-one, but so lacking in confidence in a big crowd. It was just a completely different horse. And so he did have to at times wear a pink ribbon on his tail because he didn't like horses coming up behind him. But his rider could keep him under control, just let him know. You had to kind of put your leg on him and say, nope, I'm not going to do that. Paula rode him in drill team, which requires getting right up close to your buddies. He did it. He did it well.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah. So can you share with us a memorable ride?
I guess there's two that stand out. One was actually my last year that we were able to ride him because we had to retire him from adult riders because of his ring bone in his front legs. But I would still, if I did it carefully and just once or twice in the season, we would go out.
Right.
And there was this one time we were in the school pasture, the winter pasture, and I didn't want to lug a saddle out there, so I just brought his halter and bridle, and it took me about 4 or 5 tries
to get up there. He was no shorty. Yeah.
But I got on him, and we just messed around out there, just the two of us. It was just really great.
Yeah.
And really great. And I knew it was going to be some of the last times to be on him, so it was even more special.
Yeah, yeah.
And then otherwise, I just loved taking him. I just have strong memories of taking him across the river, and he's such a powerful horse, and he would just
right
pound through the water,
right,
and with no worries on my part, and just get us across. And because of his height, I wouldn't get wet, which was a bonus. But yeah, just a really, really great feeling to be on this animal that I can trust, and that and he liked it too. I think he really liked just showing his strength and making it happen.
He liked the water. He was unafraid of the water. And I have a river crossing story. I think I may have told you this one before with Smokey. It was one of the first rides across the river of the year. And every year when we go across the river, we had to be careful of new holes because the river changes channels all the time. And if a log upstream moves the force of the river, it'll carve a new hole farther downstream. You don't even know that it's happening. Well, I was on Smokey, and I don't really know why I was on Smokey, but I was.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly. I was on Smokey, and we fell into a hole on the far side of the river, just as we were about to get out. I mean, it was just a really deep hole, and I didn't know it was there, and you couldn't see it because it was kind of murky. Anyway, down we went, and without, missing a beat, he just stood right back up, and we climbed out of the hole. I mean, that's the kind of horse he was. He just didn't get flustered on the trail. Mm-hmm. He didn't overreact to things. He was just a complete steady Eddie. And he always took such incredible care of his riders. And he seemed to know when he was with somebody like Paula who knew how to ride and he could move his best, and those who couldn't. And I'm thinking of one of my brother-in-laws who was a big man. And of course, we put him on Smokey. This was years ago because he's a big horse and can carry a lot of weight. And we went across the river to clear trail. In fact, it's that portion of the trail that goes right by the mountain there. I said, I want to make this trail longer, so we went over there and cleared trail. This was a family affair. And my brother-in-law is not very coordinated, and he weighed quite a bit of weight. So he got up there, and you could just see Smokey righting himself all of the time to stay squarely under my brother-in-law's body, just to take real good care of him. He'd move a little this way, a little this way, and my brother-in-law, who has some problems, emotional problems, and even some mental problems, was just had the most wonderful time, and Smokey just took such good care of him. It was such a wonderful day for us and for our family to go over there and work together. And the truth is, I could not have trusted many horses because my brother-in-law was challenged in that regard. Wonderful man, but had some challenges. Anyway, I came back from that ride just being so grateful that I had a horse with Smokey's attitude and capacity to take care. You know, many of you saw him out here with the smallest of children and the largest of people, and he took care of them all. Wonderful horse. And of course, he was a beauty. I mean, there was something physically attractive about Smokey that really, you know, you could have called him an ordinary horse because he had no color variation, seemingly. But if you knew him closely, you saw the color variation. His bangs would turn kind of blonde. Yeah. Kind of blonde in the summertime. They'd get sunburnt on the ends, and it was just this reddish, blondish,
strawberry
blonde, and next to this dark, beautiful dark chocolate brown, really chocolate, not black, chocolate colored coat, and then his eyes. Yeah. Tell us about his eyes.
Well, they do. They just draw you in. They're I don't know. I mean, I can see them as I stand here. They're just a beautiful soft brown, and I don't know. They just calmed me deep. Yeah.
Deep. They just were deep pools, an amber sort of thing. It was like you were looking in a ball of amber, like you could see into them.
Yeah, you're the writer. You explain it. I can feel it. I just can't put it in words.
Yeah. Well, talking about words. Okay. Celia sent me a recording of Smokey the Bear, and I've modified the words, and I promised Celia that I would sing it in honor of Smokey. And the truth is,
I'm not singing.
I know. I had some fun doing this, and I also cried a little because I thought a lot about Smokey in writing the words, and I felt good that I had taken the time to do that. And it made me wish I had written something and sung to Annie. And I'm doing that in my own way. And it's interesting, you know, as the owner of a lot of horses, and the horses that are used by a lot of different people, you know, my heart and my relationship with my horses is a lot different than a lot of people who own a horse. I own a lot of horses. And so while Smokey was a wonderful horse and a lovely horse, and I loved him dearly, I did not have the relationship that Paula had with Smokey. And the truth is, I encouraged that. I mean, I did not think this is my horse that he should be caring about me. That was never my thought. It always made me feel extremely happy when one of our horses found what I would call their champion. And Paula was most certainly Smokey's champion. That doesn't mean he wasn't special to me, because he was. But he was your guy, not mine. I love you. Now you're going to make me cry. And so I'm going to start with the chorus because I'm not sure of my voice. And I know you guys are all going to hang in there with me. I'm going to be the craziest woman on earth to be singing online, but there you have it. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, let me get my voice kind of tuned up here. Smokey the horse, A walking and a trotting and a galloping, of course. His amber eyes and chocolate coat were all his claim to fame. That's why we call him Smoky, that's how he got his name. Standing high with body strong, he knew just how to go to ford the mighty Bitterroot and step through drifts of snow. Always caring for his rider, he knew exactly what to do to keep him squarely on his back as he smoothly moved on through. Smoky the horse, Smoky the horse, a walking and a trotting and a galloping, of course. His amber eyes and chocolate coat were all his claim to fame. That's why we called him Smoky, yep, that's how he got his name. Through many years on many trails he took us up to where our spirits soared above the clouds with joy beyond compare. Now that Smoky's gone from us, it's we who carry him. Deep down in all our hearts and minds, his memories will never dim. Smoky the horse, Smoky the horse, a walking and a trotting and a galloping, of course. His amber eyes and chocolate coat were all his claim to fame. That's why we called him Smoky. Yep, that's how he got his name. Yay!
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
So you won't be able to hear Jake relay your questions, but we will. If you have questions on the chat of either Paula or I or me about Smoky, please chat them, and Jake will tell them to us, and we will repeat them and try to respond. So I'll give you a moment to do that, and if not, then we will hug and say goodbye. Do you have any there, Jake? Okay. Are people on?
No.
An encore.
They want an encore is what we're responding to.
Okay, I'll do the chorus one more time. All right. And you guys can sing along. Sing along at home. Smoky the horse, Smoky the horse, a walking and a trotting and a galloping, of course. His amber eyes and chocolate coat were all his claim to fame. That's why we called him Smoky. Yep, that's how he got his name. You guys are crazy listening to me out there. But then again, I'm crazy for singing. This is a piece of crazy craziness all the way around. No questions, Jake? Okay. Well, we love you all out there, and we know that you miss Smoky, and we can't tell you how much we do. Thank you for joining us for remembering him. Oh, we wanted to say thank you to Brianne for the lovely, lovely flowers. Do
Right.
we have a
Well,
yeah.
these are the boots they came in, and I'm thinking these are the boots the flowers Brianne made came in, and we certainly will be able to use them for many other happy occasions. And
I think so.
And I also want to thank everybody that left a note on Facebook or, on the web. There was a lot of well-wishers out there, and that really helped. So, yeah.
Here's his halter and his name tag, which, of course, Paula will take. His little name tag, and this will go up on a memory wall. We are going to get our memory wall together here one of these times. His sign will go up on it, but he will always be in our hearts, and we thank you for sharing this time with us. Thank you very much. Goodbye.